You know their names, right? Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're probably the greatest hero and the most terrifying villain in all of science fiction. But what if I told you they actually started out as brothers? Yeah, brothers, fighting for the exact same cause in the dark, dusty minds of a dying planet. This is the story, the tragic origin story, of how a shattered brotherhood ended up kicking off an eternal war.
And this idea right here, this is really the heart of the whole story. It's a quote from one of the legendary primes, a guy named Alpha-Trion, and it really sets up the central question of everything we're about to dive into. Is who you are defined by your job, your function in society? Or is it about the character of your soul, what they call your spark?
Okay, so to really get our two main characters, you've got to understand the world they came from. We're on Cybertron, and this planet is in deep, deep trouble. It's got a massive energy crisis. But the real problem? Its society isn't just divided by things like wealth or power. No, it's divided by biology itself. So here's how their rigid caste system breaks down. It's super simple and super brutal. You're either born cogged or cogless. See, if you have a transformation cog, that means you can transform, and that makes you part of the elite. You can be a soldier, a big-shot administrator, even a racer. But if you're born without one, well, you're a miner, a laborer. Your entire destiny is literally decided for you before you even take your first step.
And this is where we meet our guys, Orion Pax and D-16. Now they're brothers, both cogless miners, stuck at the bottom, but they could not be more different. Orion, he's the visionary, right? The rebel, always breaking the rules because he's convinced there's a better way. Then you've got D-16. He's the loyalist. He believes in the system. He trusts in order and rules to keep them safe. And even with all those differences, their bond is absolutely unbreakable. Or so they think.
So you take a rule breaker and a rule follower, and they decide to challenge the system together. What do you think happens? Well, it all kicks off with a race, and it ends with a revelation that's going to absolutely shatter their entire world.
So Orion gets this wild idea. He convinces D-16 to illegally enter the Iacon 5000. This is a huge, high-speed race meant only for the cogged elite. It's a total stunt, right? Just to prove that miners are more than meets the eye. And get this, against all odds, they're about to win. But then, D-16's jetpack fails. And in that split second, Orion makes a choice. He abandons the finish line to save his brother. A choice that is going to have some massive consequences.
And for their little stunt, they get demoted. We're talking the lowest, stinkiest level of the city, garbage duty. But, sometimes fate works in weird ways. Because it's here, literally among the trash, that everything changes. They meet this, let's just say, quirky bot, B-127. And then, the big one. Orion finds a broken distress beacon. It's from Alpha-Trion, one of the original primes, and it has coordinates to a place they are absolutely forbidden to go, the surface of Cybertron.
So what do? They go. Of course they go. They take the secret journey up to the planet's surface. And what they find up there, well, it's not just a long-lost prime. It's the horrifying hidden truth behind their entire civilization.
So Alpha-Trion, he reveals this absolutely shocking history. You see, their leader, Sentinel Prime, the guy they all look up to, he didn't save Cybertron from their enemies, the Quintessence. He betrayed it. He literally led the original primes right into an ambush. And while they were busy fighting the aliens, Sentinel, he murdered his own comrades, one by one, just so he could seize power for himself.
So everything they've ever been taught is a complete fabrication. Sentinel isn't a savior. He's a puppet ruler, secretly trading away the planet's lifeblood, Energon, to the Quintessence just to stay in power. But then comes the most monstrous crime of all. That whole cogless thing, it's not a biological defect. It's not an accident. Sentinel has been stealing transformation cogs from newborns to create a permanent slave class to fuel his treacherous deal. Just think about that.
So this one single, devastating truth, it hits both brothers at the exact same time. But instead of bringing them closer, it fractures their bond forever. It's a thing that sends them down two completely opposite, irreconcilable paths.
But before he sacrifices himself to save them, Alpha-Trion gives them a fighting chance. He gives them the cogs of the fallen primes. He gives them back their birthright, the very thing that was stolen from them. For the first time in their lives, they can transform. They're finally more than just miners.
So they both know the truth now, but it creates two totally different revolutionaries. Orion Pax, he's galvanized by justice. He wants to expose Sentinel, sure, but he wants to reform their society from the inside. But D-16? He is completely and utterly consumed by rage. He doesn't want to fix the system, he wants to burn it to the ground and execute every single person who is part of the lie.
And this huge split in their beliefs, it all comes to a head back in their home city, Iacon. And yeah, they actually succeed in exposing Sentinel's crimes for everyone to see. But the final, tragic confrontation, it isn't with their enemy, it's with each other.
So, D-16 defeats Sentinel. He's got him on the ground, ready to deliver the killing blow. And who stands in his way? Orion Pax. He's pleading with him, saying their new world has to be built on mercy, not vengeance. And you've got to understand, he's not just trying to save a tyrant here, he's trying to save the soul of his brother. But D-16 doesn't see mercy as strength, he sees it as weakness. In the struggle that follows, D-16's cannon, it accidentally fires and it hits Orion. Orion is sent flying and he's left dangling over the planet's core. D-16 grabs him, he has him, but then he looks right into his brother's eyes and he lets him go. It's a deliberate, final act that just completely shatters their brotherhood.
And that's it. That's the death of Orion Pax. The hopeful miner, the visionary rebel, he is gone, consumed by the very heart of the planet he was trying to save.
But his spark isn't extinguished. Down in the core, the spirits of the Primes, the very essence of Cybertron itself, see his ultimate sacrifice. They deem him worthy, they resurrect him, and they grant him the legendary matrix of leadership. He is reborn as something so much more. He is reborn as Optimus Prime.
I mean, just look at the contrast. It is so stark. Sentinel's power came from treason. Optimus's power comes from self-sacrifice. While Optimus is chosen to lead by the planet itself, D-16 takes power by force. He brutally executes Sentinel, steals the cog of his own fallen hero Megatronus Prime, and renames himself Megatron.
And just like that, the personal, heartbreaking tragedy of two brothers becomes the founding myth for a war that is going to engulf the entire galaxy for millions of years.
So on one side, you have Optimus Prime. He founds the Autobots, a faction built on his deepest belief, the autonomy and freedom of all sentient beings. They don't fight to conquer, they fight to heal and to protect.
And on the other side, Megatron founds the Decepticons. And that name, it's a defiant declaration, isn't it? They are the ones who were deceived. Their whole philosophy is forged in the fire of that betrayal. It's a vow to never be made fools of again. For them, strength is the only thing in the universe you can ever really trust. So when you boil it all down, this was never really a story of just good versus evil. It's a tragedy. It's the story of how the exact same truth, the very same betrayal forged a hero who was completely dedicated to hope and a villain who was totally consumed by despair. They are two sides of the exact same revolutionary coin.
And that brings us to the question that's really at the heart of their eternal war. A question that, honestly, is just as relevant for us today. When a system is broken, when it's corrupt, what is the true path to justice? Is it about healing the victims, or is it about punishing the perpetrators?